Well, everybody, guess what time it is? It is time for more Buyee stuff. Because, yeah, after my last Buyee unboxing video, I was all like, yeah, I spent like a lot of money, so I don't think I'm gonna like buy any more on Buyee for a while. But that lasted all of like, what, a month? And then I just kept looking for stuff on Buyee. And what happens on Buyee is that you end up coming across stuff that it's too good to pass up. And that's exactly what happened here. Is that I found a couple things which go for hundreds of dollars on eBay that I got for tens of dollars off of Buyee. So I ended up filling out an order, and this time around, though, the shipping was astronomical because last time, it seems like their average shipping rate to Canada is like $30 to $40 for any given item. And last time, I consolidated all my packages into a single box, which is only just slightly more expensive than the shipping on any one of them. Well, this time the shipping came out to close to $100, which was quite a lot. That's because apparently some of the things I bought are very big, which I wasn't quite expecting. I actually bought fewer things this time, and one of them's even a book. But apparently they're very large. So, without further ado, let's get into this thing, shall we? And see what it is that I got. Which again, I know what I got, but actually get a chance to see it firsthand here now. You also get to see my atrocious way of unboxing things as I'm tucked in here. Don't have like the greatest camera setup in the whole world, so. All right, so let's see. Packaging. This is going to be fun. Discovered that my dog-in-law does not like things popping, so we'll torment her with that. Okay, this first one looks like it is going to be the book. So let's open that up. And this book is an example of how, I like more things than just kaiju and anime. I grew up with anime. In fact, I mentioned in another video how I'm in the Robotech generation. So I was a kid in the 80s. I was born in 1977. I was a kid in the 80s, and I grew up with Robotech on TV. And then in my teenage years, it became all about the, whichever video store in my neighborhood, video rental store, happened to have VHS tapes of what were the streamlined dubs of Vampire Hunter D, Wicked City, Fist of the North Star, and stuff like that. And I still love anime, although I don't watch, like, all of it, because that's like, I watch TV. Like, okay, like what? So I'm more selective about the anime I watch now, because I'm a grown-ass adult, and I don't have all the time in the world. But I also, like, I zigged away from, like, a lot of the anime convention scene, stuff like that, to taking more of an interest in actual Japanese, like, history and culture and literature and things like that. And, I've actually been to Japan. I went to Japan in 2009, and I'm hoping to be able to go back at some point, and ideally some point soon. I mean, it'd be nice if my post-COVID finances evened out, so my wife and I could go. Because I've been before, but she's never been. And it would be nice to be able to take her and to go see some of the things that didn't exist when I went the first time, like the various Godzilla rides and the Studio Ghibli theme park and stuff like that exist. Which is all a roundabout way of saying that one of the first things I got here is a book of the short stories of Kenji Miyazawa, who is my favorite Japanese author, one of my favorite authors, period. And you might have picked up a bit if you watched my video on Galaxy Express 39 that I just posted in memory of Leiji Matsumoto, who the news of his passing just like 2 days ago now as I'm recording this. I spoke about Miyazawa's Night on the Galactic Railroad, which is one of my favorite books, period, let alone favorite Japanese books. And I actually managed to pick this copy up when I went to Japan. It was in the train station in Kyoto, actually. I was just browsing the stores, waiting for the bullet train to take me back to Tokyo. And I came across this, which is not just the book, but it's actually translated into English, with the idea being that it's for Japanese people trying to learn English, right? Translating a classic Japanese story into English so that you could learn English. But the added benefit of that for me, as somebody who doesn't speak Japanese, hooray, I finally got a copy of the book. I've been familiar with the 1985 movie for a long time, but never able to find an affordable copy of the book, and I finally was able to. I also picked up Matasaburo of the Wind, another one of his novels. I also picked up this one, which actually is from a different series of books where it's Japanese on one side and English on the other side. So even better for if you're learning English, right? Or I guess I could try and learn Japanese from it. But this, I saw this on Buyee to sort of complete my set. So now I have a nice matching set, which is something I'm very anal retentive about. Is I like matching sets of things. So now I have a matching set of Miyazawa's works here, um, topped off with the short stories of Kenji Miyazawa, which does have some stories that aren't reprinted in this book. So it's nice to finally get a more complete library of the stories of my favorite Japanese authors. So that was my first Buyee find there, which none of you care about because you all subscribe to my channel because you like monsters. So let's go to the next one. And I'm curious about this packaging. It's the same packaging the book was in. Huh. Wonder how Japanese packaging works. So let's pop into this, and this one is going to be the next in. Speaking of complete sets, this is going to be the next, out of the way, in the set of those SEGA King Kong plushes. So as I said the first time when I got one and did my Buyee unboxing, that I know of at least 4 in this set of King Kong plushes that were produced by Sega. In fact, there's the King Kong label right there, and then on the back is the Sega logo. So I know from I know from what I've researched, and the first time when I bought the first one of these, is that there's at least 4 of these, and these were like claw machine plushies. Like these are prizes for arcade machines. This is the one that has the ball and chain around his leg, which wouldn't have been my first choice as the next one to buy, but this was what was available. Just it's kind of weird because he never has a ball and chain in the movie, but I guess they needed to fill things out. But there's another one where he's carrying a palm tree, which I like because again the palm tree shows the size. Another one with the handcuffs, which is actually from the movie, and then this one, which was like the one I was least interested in getting, but it was the one that was on Buyee at the time. When I saw the next things that I wanted to buy, thought, well, you know what? I'll fill out my order. This was like $8 on Buyee. The book was also like $4. So far I've spent like what $12 here for and $100 shipping. So here you go. Nice. Next up here, we've got this big box. So let's see what is in here. Rip this thing apart. Pull a Danhausen on it. Rip it apart. Oh, you already see through the plastic there, through the bubble wrap. You have the open. Get out of there. The box is atrocious, but the X Plus King Kong. This guy, who I apparently can just pull out of the plastic here. Boop, there we go. The X Plus King Kong. Which, yeah, he's a pretty big hefty guy. Yes, the X Plus soft vinyl. This was one of the things that I saw that was just too good to pass up. Because these guys go for like hundreds of dollars on eBay. I picked up this guy about $40 on, if that even, $30, $40 on Buyee. Because again, part of the benefit of Buyee is that, you know, the stuff that makes it out of Japan and gets onto like American and Canadian eBay is stuff that like collectors here know the value of it to collectors here, right? So they know that there are people who are willing to pay hundreds of dollars for an X Plus vinyl of the 1933 King Kong. Excuse me. In Japan, it's a different story. In Japan, Buyee, which proxy buying service, so you're buying stuff off of Mercari, which is like a marketplace site, and Yahoo Auctions Japan, it's just Japanese people trying to get rid of stuff. And so, you know, yeah, it's worth like hundreds of dollars on eBay. It's $40, $30 on Buyee. But yeah, this is the famous X Plus 1933 King Kong, which is perhaps the best King Kong soft vinyl figure ever made because he looks pretty spot on. It's not a perfect likeness of the 33 Kong. I think um, the just my own a little assessment seeing him now in hand for the first time ever is that the NECA one, if you could fuse this one with the NECA action figure, it would probably be the most accurate. But it's still like really good. And he's a pretty big guy. I was expecting maybe a little bit smaller, like more in line with the Bondi ones, but still a pretty hefty guy. Um, really not a bad likeness, depending on the angle. Like not so great from that side, a lot better from that angle. Um, yeah, his arms go up and his legs rotate, but it's not like it's really useful articulation there. So there's that, which is really nice. I'm glad I got this guy for as cheap as I did. Even and yeah, and some nice paint app as well. It's not just straight black. It's got some gray washes in there and stuff like that. So that's really nice. And the person included the packaging as well. So there's the. I wasn't actually expecting to get the full packaging. I thought it was just going to be the figure. So there's the. Where's the camera? There it is. So there's the box. There's the front. You've got, of course, 33 logo or 33 Kong photo there. You've got the logo pulled practically from the movie itself. Little Jurassic Park font there. It's not too bad. Box doesn't have anything else on it. It's just logos of King Kong. I guess copyright stuff on the bottom there. To see if this is actually mentions being licensed from RKO or whatever. It doesn't say that I can recognize. That's fine. There's the top. There's a box. Nice box. All right. Probably going to keep that at some point. But that guy said that came second. That was just I lucked out, and there happened to be that available on Buyee at the time, and it was just too good for me to pass up. The real deal is what's in here, presumably. Hopefully, it's in here. I have no idea what all these stickers on it mean, so I don't know if there's something you can scan and scam me out of or whatever on there. Hopefully not. So, what we have here is I paid $10 for this because somebody was just trying to get rid of it. And that is the companion piece to the X Plus 1933 King Kong, which is the X Plus 1933 Tyrannosaurus. Now, what happened and how I got this for $10 is that when you buy it, or when you could buy it, when it was in the stores, it came in the box in pieces. And it was up to you to get the leg and the tail attached to him. And I guess, based on this person's eBay story, they couldn't get the parts attached. They couldn't figure it out. And so they were selling it for like $10. And I figured, you know what? For $10, I'm willing to make the attempt. They did carve away a bit at it there to see if they could get the parts in. Oh yeah, I see what they mean now. It keeps pressing itself in, rather than going in. So, yeah, because it's a soft vinyl figure, but it's not a very soft vinyl figure. So I figure I'll take the plunge because at the very least, what I can do is just do a little bit of cutting, gluing, and glue this guy together, and it still gives me the basic figure, which is a nice looking figure. This is actually the prize. The X Plus Kong is great, but I love that it's the T-Rex is fantastic looking. Like that is pretty close to spot on there, which I'm really liking, and goes back to something I'd said in a previous video. When my video on the Fay Ray Barbie, which is that I would love more merch that's not just Kong. I would love more merchandise of other things from the movie. So like the dinosaurs, for example. In fact, recently I came this close to being able to go to New York as an extension on a work-related thing. But I ended up not being able to go on that thing. But I this close to being able to go to New York, which otherwise I'm not super interested in going to. But if I happen to be in the neighborhood, as it were, within a couple hours drive of it, might as well, so I could actually go to the Empire State Building and pick up a model of the Empire State Building with Kong climbing it and stuff like that. I'd love more things from King Kong that aren't just King Kong. And so getting the X Plus T Rex, and for $10 Canadian, is not too shabby. So I'm going to sign off here right now, and I'm going to see if I can get out the hairdryer and fiddle with this and get this guy together. And if not, then I guess I'll figure out how to glue him together or whatever. So see you in like a second. And mission accomplished, more or less. The I can understand the person's frustration with how the leg didn't want to go on. I did eventually manage to get it on. It was the big problem was that the body lacked enough structural integrity to give enough pushback against the plug on the leg. So you're trying to force this thing in, and the body's just caving inwards, so you can't get it in. And like my fingers are too big to stick in the tail hole to try and hold it open. So it's pretty frustrating. And the person who had this, they did cut away at it a bit and stuff like that, which ended up making it so that now that I have the leg in, it doesn't hold all that well. I haven't used glue yet. I haven't got that frustrated, but I don't want to play around and try and articulate this guy very much. So luckily, I did manage to get him into a position that more or less holds, and that's good. That's fine. He's going to go into the display case, and he's not going to move around very much. So either way, I mean, and as frustrating as it was, because I was plugging away at that for about a half hour. As frustrating as it was, I still got this guy for $10, which is great compared to the prices that the X Plus 1933 King Kong T Rex usually goes for. So I forget where my camera is there. So considering all of that, the frustration was worth it to get this guy for $10. Considering that again, the X Plus set, so X Plus Kong and X Plus T Rex, were never even on my list of grails because I never thought I would have them. Just because I didn't think that a couple of soft vinyl figures like these were worth paying hundreds of dollars for. Like my $100, $150 King Kong pre-painted statue from Polar Lights, that's fine. That was worth the money in my opinion. A couple of soft vinyl figures, no, not worth that kind of money. So I never thought I would get these guys anyways. So getting them for a combined $50 off of, not including the $100 shipping, to get these guys for $50 combined off of Buyee was worth it, and worth the frustration trying to get to that leg in there, which I'm holding very gingerly, trying to I don't want that thing to pop back out again. Yeah. So I guess I end every video with like, what am I gonna get next? Um, Not really a heck of a whole lot, because I mean, I never thought I would have these guys at all because they were just too expensive to bother with. And now I've got these, so that's like a grail of grails. Got my Fay Ray Barbie. I'm working on the Sega plushes. So you guys can just go stand very gently, please. Don't fall and don't lose your leg. Working on the Sega plushes. There's two more of these guys for me to get. Um, yeah, and again, I'll just keep flying by, but I'm not gonna pull the trigger on anything until there's enough other stuff like from the Godzilla store and whatnot that I want to buy, because they keep coming out with Godzilla stuff that I do want to get, the Godzilla figures and stuff. Eventually, they work their way onto the Buyee site. Um, they've had the baby Rodan and the Anguirus from Godzilla on their Japan store for a long time, but they haven't moved it on over to the Buyee page yet. Eventually, I'll get those. Eventually, I'll get the other two of these Sega plushes. Yeah, otherwise, running out of King Kong things to buy. I guess there's those Konami bottle cap figures. Those might come home someday. If anybody's going to New York and wants to buy me souvenirs, gratefully appreciated. Please do. I would love to get some King Kong souvenirs from the Empire State Building. Yeah, as usual, make the list, and then I keep adding more things to it. So just stay tuned, like, share, subscribe, to stay apprised of what King Kong stuff that I'm going to be getting next, and whatever else I'm going to be getting next, Godzilla stuff or whatever I'm going to be getting next from whenever I do another Buyee thing. Ideally, not for $100 shipping though. I can do without that part.